Why Yuki Tsunoda should run faster than the Flash from replacing Lawson. I like Yuki Tsunoda. He's probably the best Formula 1 driver Japan has ever given us. The competition is not very stiff, but still, it's still impressive to be the best. Throughout his career, Yuki has shown not only pace and ability, but also character. When they brought in Ricciardo and the whole world and its cat was calling for Ricky Smiles to replace Perez at Red Bull, Tsunoda buckled down and destroyed what remained of the Aussie's reputation by comprehensively beating him in equal machinery. The man has shown that reputation does not intimidate the Japanese samurai warrior by going toe-to-toe on track with the likes of Gasly and Leclerc, Hamilton and anyone else, and having a proper, unintimidated go with them. Like I said, I like Yuki, despite his tendency to swear over the team radio, teaching my small son new English words that I have a tough time keeping him from repeating. Because I really like Tsunoda, I really do not want him becoming Max's female puppy by taking that number 2 Red Bull seat. Let's face facts. Since Max took the number 1 seat from Ricciardo, Red Bull Racing has been a one-car team. Built and developed around Max, with a second car pretty much just there because the rule demand teams to field a second car. Gone are the days when Frank Williams cared more about winning the constructors and sacked 3 drivers champions for what he saw was the good of the team. Mansell, Prost and Hill were sacked despite winning the World Drivers title. Yeah, okay, Prost retired, but he wouldn't have stuck around for another one-on-one with Senna the next season anyways in the same car. Red Bull are the complete opposite of what Frank Williams believed. The team is Max Verstappen, and the second seat isn't a support seat like Barrichello or Irvine were for Schumacher or Bottas was for Hamilton. Nope, it's become a poison chalice, where drivers are fed to the wolves. Not bad drivers. The likes of Albon and Gasly have proven themselves top class, but a seemingly impossible position to achieve success no matter what your abilities. Almost like becoming manager of Tottenham Hotspur. Why do I believe it's career suicide to join Red Bull as number 2? One reason is the ridiculousness of the team's hierarchy's tunnel vision in singular support of Max. Whatever Helmut Marko's actual job at Red Bull, we can all agree he wields tremendous influence over in colourful Cowland, and he was quoted in an old article on gpblog.com as saying, and I quote, "At some stage you have to recognize there is someone who is special and it's just not possible to beat him. It's my job to make them understand that. Is that cruel? I don't think so," end quote. And he was talking about Max being special and it being impossible for another driver to beat him. What a mentality. And that is the mentality. Not even when Vettel won 4 titles in a row was that the way they used to think. Ricciardo came in and immediately beat Seb over a season. When Max came in, he was given a fair shot at Ricky Smiles and did well enough to become the main man, forcing Ricciardo off to Renault. So what's changed? Is Verstappen too insecure to accept a teammate as challenger? Does the team set up and develop the car around the Dutchman to such an extent no one else can drive the thing? Ricciardo felt McLaren did something similar a few seasons ago when he found the car almost impossible to drive and never could adapt to driving the thing, being soundly beaten by young Lando. Having a look at teammates of Super Max at Red Bull may be the best argument for the non-Verstappen seat's deadly effect on confidence. So let's have a look at how they fared when paired with Max. For context, 7-time World Drivers' Champion Lewis Hamilton has been beaten by numerous teammates during his career. Button, Rosberg and even Russell outscored him in single seasons during their times as teammates. Even legends like Senna lost a season to Prost. And the other way around, legend Prost lost a season to Senna, and I think Prost also lost once to Niki Lauda as teammate. But they were treated as equals in these situations. Despite what the Spice Boy Horner and Marko the Markster, whatever his job is, may claim at times, Red Bull are Team Max, and that's pretty obvious from statements like the one I just read a little while ago. Let's have a look at these teammates and how they fared against Max. Firstly, Danny Ricciardo. When Max joined Red Bull, Ricciardo was seen by most as the main man. He had become the first man to beat Vettel in equal machines after Vettel had won 4 World Drivers titles in a row and had seen off Kvyat's challenge since in the second Red Bull. The Aussie was spoken of as a future world champion. As teammates for 58 races, it was pretty close between the race winner and teenager Max Verstappen. Max outqualified Danny 33 times to 25 and beat him in races 32 times to 24. In 2016, Max replaced poor Kvyat after just 4 races in the season and was outscored by Danny Rick 256 to 204. In 2017, Ricciardo beat teenage Max by 200 to 168. And in 2018, Verstappen stepped up and smashed the Aussie 249 to 170. And we haven't seen a challenger arise for Verstappen's crown as King of Cowland since. Ricciardo had some success at Renault and won a race at McLaren, but he never came close to living up to the promise he showed before becoming Max's teammate.
Pierre Gasly!
In 2019, he was seen as an exciting prospect. The previous season he had beaten New Zealand's prospect Brendan Hartley soundly, and hope was that he could do a job at the senior team. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, as he was booted after just 12 races, which seems like a long time now that we've seen what they did to Lawson, and replaced by next victim Alex Albon. His start wasn't too dissimilar to Lawson's though. Gasly qualified 17th in his first race with Red Bull, the Australian Grand Prix, and failed to score. He again failed to qualify in the top 10 in the next race and retired from the race. He managed a 4th along the line in Britain, but while running 6th in Hungary, was lapped by Supermax, his teammate. Gasly was 6th in the Drivers' Championship with 63 points, while Verstappen had accumulated 181 points at that stage, including 2 wins and 5 podiums, with Gasly not having reached 1 podium. Of course, Gasly was then booted for Albon before the next race. And then along came Albon, and initially he did okay. He scored 76 points during his 9 races at Red Bull in 2009 in 2019 compared to 97 for Max over the same time. Also winning Rookie of the Year. Then came 2020 and he scored 105 points to Max's 214 and was immediately booted for Tom Cruise lookalike Sergio Perez. While Perez would win 5 races for Red Bull and finish runner-up in the World Drivers title once, he never came close to the Prince of Orange's pace, and in 2024 he was so far off it looked like he was driving a different car, basically becoming McLaren's biggest ally in the Papayas Constructors title win that year, leading to his being sacked for Lawson. And which now brings us to poor Liam Lawson's being sacked after just 2 races. This is flippin' ridiculous. You're not convinced the Red Bull number 2 seat is a poisoned chalice? Gasly re-established himself as a top driver and even won a race after not being Red Bull's number 2 guy. Albon has rebuilt his reputation and is currently doing excruciatingly well in a Williams that a year ago was slower than grass growing. Before joining Red Bull as number 2 guy, Perez won a race for the team that has since become Aston Martin, something not even Alonso has come close to replicating. Yuki Tsunoda has real reason to fear the Red Bull number 2 seat. Come on man, Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees would fear that seat. Yuki has no reason to listen to my old ass giving him advice, but Yuki, listen! Please turn down this silly seat and convince Honda to pressure Aston Martin to give you Stroll's seat when they to the land of green cars next season. With Newey designing the thing and Lawrence Stroll seriously having to realize he has to sack his boy or buy him a seat at Williams or Haas or something like Latifi's dad did, it just makes sense. Red Bull's second seat is as poisoned a chalice as the Tottenham Hotspur manager job is. Ask Conte, Mourinho, ask Ange Postecoglou, ask Perez, ask Gasly. Yuki, don't do it! Please. And on that sorry note, it's time to make some coffee and play some Football Manager. You know, the only place where a Spurs manager can actually win things. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you've watched without subscribing and liking, come on man, it's free. It's a click of a button. What else in life is free? Just do it, man. You know you want to. But thank you for watching. See you soon. God bless and goodbye.